You could run the system and never need anything else. It's self-contained other than obviously changing your solution. Okay, changing your solution. You can see here on this one, what I like about this and this food grade safe I got from Lowe's is I can see the level. So when it starts to get low, I can top it off, or, you know, whatever. There's also on the other side, you can see it's measurable. On the other side, there's actually incremental by liter, so you can take it up to a certain level, and I know what level I need, so I fill my solution up every 2 weeks on this guy. And I've got a filter on the water, so you can buy distilled water, or you can run it through a filter, let it set for a day just to make sure, and then change your water every 2 weeks with your solution. So yeah, it's one other thing that you can do to really get it going. But yeah, I took my advice from James Wyatt, who told me that he changes his solution about every 2 weeks. So I was like, you know what? I've seen what he's done before, and he's done well. So it's really not that bad to change the water out every 2 weeks. You can go on there too and learn to make your own solution. There's a site, Chill LED, which is, I kind of got some of my LED experience and learning from him. He makes some really awesome LEDs. You'll pay a little more, but I think in the end you'd be happy with what you got from him. But he also has a video on how to make your own hydroponic solution, and using Master Blend, and I want to say it was Epsom salts, and you make the mixture. Go on there and find it. It's really awesome, and then you may end up saving yourself a bunch, because if I remember right, he made a 1 gallon solution that's actually a concentrate that you could make 250 gallons of solution. So you just take a little bit and add it into your mix. I run on this 800 parts per million. I've got a little meter, a little digital meter, works awesome. And I also use old school pH testing. I run a pH of about 5.5 to 6. 6 is what I really shoot for. So, and my pH tester is the kind you put a little bit of your solution in a little tube about so big, put 3 drops of this pH tester in it, shake it, you just shake it, and there you go, you get your results. And you just match the color to your color bar that comes with the kit, and when you hit the color that matches 6, you're golden. And then you're not going to damage your plants. One thing you got to do is, when you do this, and if you do hydroponic, make sure you do your solution, get your parts per million, and get your pH right before you put your plants in, before you put them back in. Make sure that's right. What do I do when I'm changing solution? I have another bucket that I just set them in while I'm changing it. I change it. Once I get the solution right, I put it back in solution, and then I just put it right back in place. And you can tell where that sits. You're not going to really have a lot of mess, because everything's self-contained. So kind of hard to make a mess. So that light you see down there, that's a Blurple light. It's a grow light. I just got that a while ago, and I mess around with it, and I try different things with it. Like, see, I've got my overhead light up here. Well, this one down here I got coming up. I'm just playing with it. It was on top over here, over the top of these, and it was pinned right up here, and it just, So I'm just doing different things. So I will encourage you to experiment with your light recipes. A tent would really work well if you want to contain it. But that's up to you. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to cut this. I'm going to take these down. Now, I'll unwrap this, and then I'm going to slide 3/4 inch tubing so I can go to the roof. I need to be able to have that higher distance. One thing you'll see over here, that's my air pump. And what I'm using is that little Eco Air. pretty strong pump I got from Kent Indoor Gardens. But you can get them online. You want to get some, now you can see there, adjustable airflow, and I've got that knob so I can go up or down. But I got it cranked because I've got a 5-gallon, 2 5-gallon pots that I'm aerating, and you have to do that. You have to have air in that water, or your plants are going to drown. It's oxygenating the roots, and that's why the roots can be in a solution and not drowned out, because they're getting air from the air stones that are inside of that plant. And you got one that goes in right here, and then this one over here, you can see right here, I just drilled a hole in and it runs right in through there, and it's down there bubbling up, and it just keeps oxygen in the water, and plants love it. Obviously, they love it. Now the other thing you see over there, that old fan right there is nothing, man. You know what? I got it in with another one, a larger fan that we used in the summer, and I just set it over there. I'm not even running it on high. I'm running it on level 1. And it just sits there, it moves back and forth and blows air on these plants, because you have to keep airflow on these plants. And you know, you'll see also what I do every day is I'll come in with my little, this is actually not pure water, it's a it's got a CalMag in it, and I just come in here and spray them down a little bit, give them a little moisture underneath a little bit. I just moisten down the leaves a little bit. I like to keep it, I don't know, I guess kind of tropical, I guess you could say. But I just come in here and I'll moisten it down. And you know, it's funny though, because you can see how, I don't know if it looks that way when you look in here, and it looks like, oh my gosh, these leaves look light. Well, when I turn the light on and turn that light off, all of a sudden everything looks normal again. So it's just the way that it reflects off of that LED, and it's got more red than, and I'll turn it off here. I'll turn off the room light here, and you'll see changes a little bit. But you can see the spectrum. It comes out to the edge of the leaves. And I'm covering here, I'd say probably 3 feet, and it seems to work just fine with it. Every now and again I'll just move the plant a little bit, change the spectrum. But you can see the outline, you know, these outside leaves are fine. There's no problem with them. And over here, so my area right now is that. It's pretty good. So 4 or 5 plants, yeah, you could. 4 plants is comfortable with one of these lights. They don't have any kind of a problem. This other tube here, I keep this on standby. This is soapy water, because for whatever reason, you can have the cleanest soil, you can have the cleanest environment, and out of nowhere comes aphids or spider mites. So what I do is I'll spray them with that, and I'll nip it as soon as possible, because you know, you want to grab them with your fingers, and you can see me putting my hands on there, because even though I'm doing this video, I'm always looking for bugs, differences, idiosyncrasy, you know, whatever. But I encourage you to experiment and play around a little bit. That's what I've been doing for years. But I finally found these LED lights, and I'll tell you the reason I was turned on, because the plants that I got outside, they were started under an LED light, and I'm telling you that I probably gained, for my growing season, 2 months in the short time that they were grown. And I mean, they were started in January, and by March they were too big to be under the lights, and they were moved out to greenhouses. And yeah, it's crazy. They were already big, and I'm getting really good fruit out of them too. So that's another thing you can do too, is use this to really push. And you know, there's different lights, so whatever LED light I think that you want to grow with, I recommend these with the grow lights now because of what I've been seeing with root growth, with plant growth, with the ability to, if you do this, you good luck getting plants to produce fruit under. They will do it. They'll do it under the T5s. Don't get me wrong. Oh, by the way, you can get LED bulbs for your T5s now too, full spectrum, and turn your T5 light or even a T8 light into the grow light. And in fact, a gal that I knew here locally did that. She used her an old ballast, and you just have to watch. You gotta bypass your ballast inside and run the LED, and the LED's got its own on some of these bulbs. You can get T5 full spectrum, T8 full spectrum. One of them that you can get them through, gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but at any rate, yeah, you can convert an old T8 light into an LED light too now, because they have kits of them. Smart LED, I think, is the name of the company that puts some out. You can go on Amazon, wherever. You'd probably get them. And also cut your energy bill down and still using what you had. Now, they're not going to be cheap. They're probably going to run you, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. Maybe a little more. T5 bulbs run a little more, but think about what you save in energy, and maybe it's worth it. So that's a basic build. Really, it's simple, and it's very controllable. I close. I don't even have daylight coming in here. These things run. This is how they run when I don't have the light on in here, and the light's not on. So this is running off in its normal cycle. So yeah. So all you really need is a couple pots. You can grow. I would recommend you run a very clean soil, something like Sunshine Number 4. Or go and get some Ocean Forest, Happy Frog Ocean Forest, and run that on the inside. That's a clean soil, and you know what? You're going to pay $12 a bag, but you're going to find out that it's always stored inside because it's an inside soil, and it's a very good soil. So if you don't want to make your own with your core and your Canadian peat sphagnum and all that, then go get some Happy Forest, or get Sunshine Number 4. A big old block is like $25. But that Ocean Forest by Happy Frog comes with all the nutrients in it, so it kind of gives you a head start on it. So, or you can go to your hydroponic. It's kind of fun to do the hydroponic. I'll tell you that. It's the growth. I mean, look at so. Yeah, look at this. These aren't bad. Trust me, they're not bad. And they've been completely 100% LED. They're doing okay. But I mean, the growth comparison, you look at that, and then you look at these big old bushes here. That's hydroponics and LED. This is my soil base and LED. So, yeah, well, hard to beat hydroponics sometimes, but you can do it with your soil too, so don't get me wrong. It's just me experimenting. I'm always doing something to find out what's the best way, and I'm getting a lot of growth from my hydroponics. But heck, I got a pot on my soil base, so either way, whatever you choose. But it allows you to grow. You can grow in a little space and have some peppers for the winter. You don't have to end your growing season, and it's a fun thing to do. And you come in and check out your little plants and see how they're doing, and play around them, and it's a sense of pride that you can do it in just a small area. You're not going to be able to, obviously. Now, if you have a whole room, you could get, I don't know, 4 of these things, 4 or 5 of them, and you could light up the room and have your own little indoor garden. If you have that extra room, heck, why not? You could do it. So, At any rate, this is Harold, and I just wanted to give you a little update on and a little bit of how-to on how you could do this indoors. If you have any questions, just hit me up, and we'll talk at you later.